So what is a test case? And this is the common question also. What is a test case? Because we're testing, we are getting a requirement, then what is a test case? So you have to convert the requirements into more detailed way, how you are going to test, what data you are giving, how the application behavior. You will just validate using these test cases. So test case is nothing but it's it's going to be a document again, which describes what input you are giving, what action you are doing, and what is the expected response you are going to verify, and to check that the application feature is working properly or not. So that is the test case. So you can describe in another way also. A test case is a description of what to be tested, what data to be given, what actions to be done to check the actual result against the expected result. So while designing the test cases, you will write till expected result only, because you have only requirements, and the requirements, they will tell the what is the expectation. Then what is the actual result? Actual result means application behavior. Application behavior is described in the actual, that is when you get a build. So development completed, developers done their implementation of the requirements. Then when it comes to testing, then you will check one by one step you will execute, right? That step execution time, what is the application behavior? That behavior of application is your actual result. Now you will compare. So what is the application behavior and what is the expected result? Both you will compare. If both are same, you will tell, so test case is pass. If both are not matching, you will tell test case is failing. So that is the main concept here. And what are the fields in the test case document? So first, a test case number, test case name, a requirement number. If you want to map this test case with requirement, you can add a requirement number or a story number. We are using Agile process, right? So mostly story number. So you will use story number here. Then what is the test data you are going to give? Precondition. So for these actions, what is the precondition? Description. This is the very crucial. Okay. This is the step by step you have to write. So from the beginning to till issue occurs or the test case ends, all the steps you have to write here. That's a description, means detailed steps you have to write here. Then next column, expected result. So these are the things you will fill during your test case design. We already discussed when we will design the test cases, right? The test case design time, these are the fields you will fill while writing the test cases. You are not going to write these fields. These fields when you will fill?
After the testing is done.
After the testing is done, no, madam. Once you get the build, while testing time, actual testing starting time, you will fill this.
Okay, actual testing starting time. Okay, perfect.
So while execution time, you will fill these details. Execution time.
Okay.
So the execution, how we will do based on these test cases?
Based on those test cases.
So here these steps you will use to execute, right? After execution, the output. What is the output is you're expecting? And this expectation here, and what is the application behavior, that you will write here.
Okay. So actual result is, okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Harshini.
Okay. Sir, in test data itself, we will write the steps. In test data column only, we will write the steps.
No. Who told? Test data means what? What data you are giving. Test data, you won't write steps. This is the steps is different. Test data is different.
Okay.
Test data means what data you are using to test the application. You should not write steps in the test data column. Test data is just data only should be there. Description, this is the main thing, all the detailed steps should be there. These detailed steps only you will use even for reporting the defect also. Reproducible steps you will write, right? Those reproducible steps, these things only you will use there.
Okay.
Test data means just, for example, if there is the first name, last name, email, telephone, fax, what is the data you are entering here? That data should go to this test data.
Okay.
Not the steps. First name means Ramesh, last name is Sage, and telephone number or email, what is the email, ramesh@gmail. Those things only should be in the test data. Is this clear?
Clear, sir. Thank you.
In the description means you will write, enter first name in the first name field, enter last name in the last name field, enter email in the email field, enter telephone number in the telephone. These are the steps means in the description column.
Okay.
Is this clear for everyone?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
So expected result means what you are expecting. Suppose you filled all this data. So you have given entire data, valid data, and you are moving towards next. Then it should go to next page. Our account should created successfully. That's your expectation that you will write. So account should create, should keyword you have to use in the expected result always for every expected result. What is your expectation? And this expected result you will see in the requirement document or user story. And actual result is application behavior. For example, you clicked on this continue. Then what is the application behavior? That behavior you have to write in the actual result. Then you will compare these expected and actual. Both are same. You will say a status column as a pass.
Okay.
If both are not same, you will make the status as a fail.
Okay.
So the failed one, immediately you go to your bug tracking tool, defect tracking tool, you raise a defect.
Okay.
So you will report the defect with all these steps, with this test data, and what is the story number, and all you will mention in the defect tracking tool. That's how you will report the defect. So actual result is your summary or title of the issue.
Okay.
Actual result is the summary or title of the issue. Remaining all these steps only will write in the defect tracking tool. Reproducible steps. Reproducible steps is your description, and also test data also you provide. What data you have used, what URL you have used, which environment you have used. So test environment, staging environment, what environment you have used to test the application. This test cases, that environment URL also you provide.
Okay.
The detailed info you have to give. Where it is happening, which operating system, which browser, what is your browser version also you have to mention. Okay.
Oh, even the version of the browser. Okay.
Everything you give.
Okay.
They should not come back again. So I am not able to reproduce whatever you have given. You give what max you can give.
Okay.
Even screenshots, logs also if you want, and even network tab calls also if you want, you can give network tab calls also. Network tab calls means right click, inspect, and you can go and see here. And you can see these are the network tab calls.
Mhm.
So these things you can get, see that registration, this is the account. So if this page is loaded successfully, 200, okay. And you can see what is the status code.
200. Okay.
200.
So, and you can see that once you submit, you will get all the data like this. Okay. So you can just, give all this info so that it will be easy for them to track and, debug and find out the root cause. Good.
Yes, sir.
That's a debug. That's a defect reporting or defect posting. How to post the defect, how to report the defect. That's what I'm telling you. Okay. So once this test case is done, that defect ID once you file, and the defect ID also you filled in this column against that test case. Okay. That's how you understood now all the test cases format. These are the fields will be there in the test case document. So it's company to company, it will vary, but these are the mandatory things. Okay. The steps are mandatory, expected and actual are status. These three things are mandatory. Remaining things, it's up to you what you want to keep. Okay. Even tracking also, it must be there. Okay. So which ticket against you are creating the test cases, the tracking must be there. Next, can this test cases reusable? Yes, test cases can be reusable. So test cases can be reusable. You can reuse for same test case for regression testing, smoke testing, integration testing, all different types of test cases you can do with the same test cases if you have written properly. Then what are the good characteristics of a test cases? How can you say this test case is a good? How can you say this test case is a more effective test case? Very good test case. The test case first characteristic should be test case should catch the bugs. That's a first test case characteristic. If you are telling it's a good test case, if there is a bug in that area where you are executing, your test case should catch the bug. Your test case should catch that bug while execution time. If your test case is not catching the bug, then no use, right? Then you have to modify your test case steps or what you have written, wordings or whatever it is. Change it if it is not catching the bug. Still there is a bug, but your test case is not catching. Just change your steps, your test data, so whatever it is. So that is the first characteristics. And second one is test case should be independent. So, and test case should say what you are testing. So that's another characteristics. Test case should be uniform, no duplicates. Every test case should be independent, and test case should catch the bugs. These are the characteristics of a good test case. Please remember these points while creating the test cases.
So what do you mean by independence, sir? Like it can be reusable. Yeah.
Can be reusable. Independent means you're asking?
Yeah.
Independent means while execution time, you should not depend on other test case.
Okay.
The steps, everything should be independent. Independently, you should execute that. Maybe in the precondition you will mention. So the page should be here. So to reach that page, and you have written on the top, what are the steps you are performing. Again, you should not say that a test case one you have to depend on. You should not write like this.
Okay. Got it. same test case, we can use it again, but it should not depend on the
Steps should not be duplicate.
Thank you.
So you can write it in the precondition. Okay. So if you want to reach there, you tell that. So you should be in this page. Suppose I want to write more test cases for this. So you are writing a login validation, validating the login page link. Then you can write it. So user should be in the registration page. Again, you don't need to write all the steps. These are all the steps you already written on the top. You should not duplicate them. Okay. So you can just tell that user should be in the registration page. If you already written these steps, how you need to reach registration page, you already written, right?
Yes.
So on the top, you will say, right, all the steps, how you have reached this page, the steps will be there.
Yeah, so we can directly start from the next.
Just one word in the precondition. So that's the, you can reuse that kind of preconditional steps instead of duplicating. Okay. That is this independent means. So when the new user comes, if he starts that, reading that, he should be able to understand, he should be able to execute. Even other person, new person comes, by seeing your test cases, he should be able to execute and able to test the application. That is the kind of wordings and everything we have to use in the while designing the test cases. And are there any issues to be considered while designing the test cases? Yes. So all the test cases should be traceable. Traceable means your story number and test cases should be traceable. So in the story, what are the requirements are those things only you have to write in the test case document. There should not be too many duplicates, not too many, even single also. There should not be any duplicates. So this wording is wrong. There should not be any duplicate test cases. Outdated test case should be cleared off. You have to remove the outdated test cases. That means first when you write test cases, that was there that in the requirement. Later they changed that. Now that test case is not required. Then you also delete that. They changed the requirement, you also change that test cases. So that always keep updating your test cases. If the test case is not valid. So all the test cases should be executable. You have to consider all these points while designing the test case. If any test case is not executable, no use. It should be executable. A test case should be executable. So the sample requirement document I have provided here. So you can use this. So requirement document sample, this one, you can see this. Sample requirement document. So these are the use case documents. They will give these requirements like this. They will describe each requirement like this. You have to read this multiple times to understand all this basic flow, alternative flows, what are the business rules. So you have to clearly understand these requirements. See, business rules, any precondition for this. So here precondition for login is, see that the user is registered. So already user should register to log in, right? Otherwise you cannot log in. So that is the precondition. Post condition, what is that? So after actions of login, what will happen? So that is they mention very clearly. So So these are the steps you need to read and understand. Okay, so like that you have for each use case, you have a requirements, clear requirements. Based on this, you read and write the test cases.
Okay, sir, where do we write all these? In the Word or
Excel sheet.
Excel?
So Excel sheet,
Hmm.
generally people will use Excel sheet, or there will be ALM tool will be there.
Okay.
There are tools also there. Now people are using Jira. Jira tool also they will write. Jira tool, there is a plugin called X-ray. So they will add that plugin and you will get the same format. This format you can follow.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So these are the no. One is if it is a small company, you can tell Excel sheet. Okay. Or Confluence pages. Confluence pages automatically will get in the along with the Jira. You
Confluence
can
page.
write that also.
Okay.
So you can use Confluence pages also. You can create a table, right? You can create a table. And
Ramesh, can we tell that we'll be writing the test cases in Excel. After that, we'll upload into the Jira. Is that valid?
yeah, that is also valid.
Yeah. And one more thing I need to ask about that. When we got the new requirement that is additional add-on to the existing one, whether we need to continue the same means, for example, there is a user story number 1, and we got update and that user story has updated to 30 with new features. So we need to follow the user story process or the test cases process. For example, after writing the one, we need to write the 30th as it is a additional requirement. We need to write there, or we need to follow the sequential process.
No, the requirement, the flow you will come to know in the design diagrams, right? They will give diagrams. What is the next flow? So it doesn't matter, test case, which test case you are using, but that flow you have to follow. So the order of requirements is not good. You have to follow the flow of your application flow. So not the order of the requirement number what they have given in the user story. You got my point? The functional flow you have to follow.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions?
What was the plugin you mentioned, sir? Jira.
X-ray.
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 Okay.
And one more is there, Zephyr also there.
Zephyr. Okay.
ZYPHR.
Okay. Or the compliance pages.
So now our conference page also, if you are using, so the Jira means automatically conference pages, so you have access. You can create a tables. What are the fields you want? You can create a table. There is a clear option in the edit mode. You can insert the table.
Okay.
And then write the headings, all the headings, these columns, what are all the columns you need. You take all these columns, or you want to add more columns also, it's up to you. All. So you can add these columns in the table, what table you are creating. Even same in the Excel sheet also you can create, right, table. So the headings and all those things. So that's how you can write all these places, the test cases, but all are correct only. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let's go to, I have to put here. Okay. First, let's understand. We are directly jumping onto the usability test cases. How we will test your application user interface, like just UI test cases. Now, first, any page you are going, so these are the set of test cases you have to execute. At least not all of them, but few of them you can execute. So what is the first? Verify the spelling in every screen. First usability test case. There is no spelling mistakes in the page content. You have to be very careful. This is the, you don't need any experience for this, right? Do you need any experience for this?
No.
So that's the first test case. You go and check every page you are testing, check the spelling mistakes. Any spelling mistakes are there or not. You're not sure, just copy paste the content and the Word document. Just I think F7 if you press, you will come to know any spelling mistakes are there or not. Okay, that's the how you can check that. Then verify color uniqueness. So color uniqueness means see that this uniquely defined or not. So these things are not. Check the color uniqueness for all the content, controls, and everything properly. So uniquely defined or not. That's the second test case. Verify font size, font uniqueness. Font uniqueness, font, see these menus are in one font, and also this is the another font. Check that, where you can check the font. So you go to style, there will be, go to elements, you can see style here. See font family, font size, you can get everything here. So this is the styles. See font family, font size. So particular, so you can right click and you can find out what is the font size, what is the color. So what is the font family, font size, margin. So all these things, these CSS properties, you can find here. That's a very important. See font size 33 pixels. So then check this font size. So it will be available here. Display block, font family, open sans serif. Color, this is the color also they are giving. So like this, you can check all the CSS properties of your elements in the web page. Verify size uniqueness. All the controls, buttons, text are in same size in all the screens or not, you have to check. Verify init cap. What is meant by this init cap? The initial cap letter, right? That's init cap means. The initial letter should start with a capital letter. So that you check whether the page starts with the capital letter, your word. So this is the one. So this is the one, you can try it out. So this here, if you see this, if there is a content, see the only first letter capital, remaining all lowercase. They maintained the uniqueness. So that is the thing you have to check here. Verify alignment. See, all are started same line or not. See, same line, and here also same line. They ending, they started here also. This also aligned properly. See, this is the alignment. So proper alignment or not, you have to check. So every page you have to continue this, not in one page. All the pages you have to check. This is proper or not. Okay. Any questions here till now?
Yes, sir.
Are we good?
So these all goes by the requirements they need.
No, this is no requirement at all.
Okay.
This
So,
is the common test cases for any application.
okay, that's common, quite common, but what if they ask for a certain color and if that matches or not on the heading
They
of the,
give, okay, if they give, that is good, right? And if they give, you go and see the application, what is there.
Mhm. Okay,
If they give, that is your expectation, right?
yes.
And what is there in the application, you check that. Both
Okay.
you compare.
Yeah.
That color and this color is same or not, you compare it.
Mhm. Yeah. So usually this doesn't go by the requirements. We're just checking it.
Some companies, they will give very particularly, okay,
Okay.
the look and feel they want very clear, what
Mhm.
size they need to use,
Mhm.
what color they need to use, they will clearly mentions.
Mhm.
That case, that is very good for you still,
Mhm.
right? If they give the font size, font family and color, what color so they have to use. And if they give, that is very good for you. Even you are getting expected result.
Yes. Mhm.
And what is there in the application, you compare both of them.
Okay.
When you can compare, if you have application only, you can compare, right? If you don't have application, you cannot compare. So when you will get application, once the development is completed, development of this, that user story.
Mhm.
So then they will give a build for you.
Mhm.
Once you get the build, and you will start execution.
Thank you, sir.
Execution time, you have to include these test cases also. In your test case design, you have to include this also.
Okay.
You can write usability test cases. Verify alignment. Verify name spacing between all the words in the screen. Verify space uniqueness in between controls. What are controls? These are the controls. Can you see the space between each control? Similar. That's the controls means. You can see here. These are the controls. This is the control and this is the control. And this is also control. And this is the button. Button is one control. Checkbox is another control. So these are controls and spacing is proper or not, you check it. You should not, overlap on this. It should not happen, right? So that's the spacing also correct or not, you have to check. The color contrast between the controls. So the color is similar or not, same thing or not. You see, when I put a cursor there, this is highlighting, right? So that's the indicates you are working on that element. That clearly shows the user, right? That color uniqueness is proper or not, you have to check. So related elements are grouping or not. Suppose if you go here down, see this information related links are here grouped. The customer service are grouped here. So that elements are grouping properly or not, you check that also. So account related all elements here. So extras, whatever you want here. So that is a grouping is happening or not, you can check that. Okay. And the scroll bars are appearing or not. Scroll bars means, see, this is a bigger piece and you cannot see entire screen in one page. Then they should provide a scroll bars. If they are not providing scroll bars and below one is not able to see, that's a bug. Make sure that scroll bars left, this is the vertical scroll bar. And there will be a horizontal scroll bars also. You can see our, this is the horizontal scroll bar. Okay. We have a vertical scroll bars and also horizontal scroll bars. That both are displaying or not, you have to check. Then image icons are properly displaying or not. This is the images, right? The images are displaying or not, you check that. So these images properly displaying or not, you have to check. Are they are displaying like a, so if you see, this is the broken images and this is a proper image. Why I'm saying a broken image means image is not displaying. This kind of images you have to check. If this kind of images are there, you file a bug. Okay. Clear? That image or correct format or not, you have to check. Tooltips. If any tooltips are there, you check the tooltips. See, this is the tooltip. See, when I put a cursor on this, you are getting a tooltip, right? So that tooltips are coming or not, you can check that. See this, if I put a mouse here and it's a list, it is saying grid. So grid format different, list format different. Okay. So that you have to check the tooltips are coming or not, wherever necessary. Okay? Not, I'm saying everywhere. See, when you mouse over on this icon, you're getting a tooltip. So the tooltips are wherever necessary, those are displaying or not, you check that.
Okay.
Verify full forms of shortcuts. Any shortcuts are defined, make sure that is given in the brackets or somewhere, the full form of that shortcut. So shortcut keys on the keyboard are, for example, you want to scroll down. So are you able to scroll down with arrow down keys? You check that, right? Scroll up. So I'm able to do now with keyboard. I'm not using any mouse or anything. I'm using arrow down, arrow up key. So that you're able to, use the keyboard and mouse actions. So with the keyboard, are you able to access your application or not? That also you need to check. And formats. The formats means basically all the alignment and format is correct or not. This everything is aligned properly, and say this is aligned properly and formats are good. So that's what you're going to check. That's okay. Help documents. This is very important. So a new user is coming to your application to visit your application. So there should be any helper videos or guidance how to use this application. There should be a proper. So otherwise, how do they access your application? If there is no guidance, there is no helper document, there is no proper helper videos, how they are going to use your application? That all these helper documents, guidance should be somewhere in your application, how to use this. Otherwise, it's not easy to use the application. So these are the high level UI test cases. Any of these bugs are there, that is a UI bug. Suppose alignment is not good and image is not displaying, scroll bars are not displaying. These are the UI test cases, not functional test cases. UI bugs we call them. UI bugs means these are not related to functionality. They're just a appeal, right? So how you are feeling. So that's no functionality involved here. So that's why these are all called UI test cases. Always you give low priority. But so it depends on if that developer is taking so bug, you can give priority. Otherwise, you can give normal priority. So that's the usability test cases. Next, ATM test case. You all know ATM, how to use ATM. Anybody doesn't know still? I don't think so. Nobody, right? So everybody knows how to use ATM card and ATM. So how to withdraw money, but what are the test cases you will test it? So you think ATM is one software you need to test. How you will test? So you have to always, when you're testing, I already told, you have to think different person's perspective. The person who knows how to use the ATM, the person who knows little bit how you will use, and a person doesn't know anything about how to withdraw money, how to use the ATM software, then how you will use. Let him use, but how you will use, you mimic those actions in the application itself. Because you are the first user testing the application, first user, you are using the application. That means the same will be used by many people outside once it is publicly delivered to the clients. Clients means we are all clients. So ATM software we are using. We are the people using the software. That how you will use, you will write more test cases and you will add more scenarios for this if you are testing ATM center. ATM is one software. They will deploy the software there and it will work. All the screens it will appear for, right? So those are some of them I have listed out here. But still many test cases you will get. So what are the test cases? Let's see. Verify operation with the wrong angle of card insertion. First one, negative test case. Insert the card in the wrong angle. Then it cannot be read, right? So your card cannot be read. Then it will say card is invalid, please insert properly. You will get a message. That's your expectation. So this is your test case. So the test case verify card insertion, and then you'll say wrong angle of insertion. The next one, verify operation with invalid card insertion. Invalid card means what? This is the wrong angle of card insertion. What is the next one? Invalid card insertion. Invalid card means scratches on the card, Trekken card, other bank cards, time expired cards. If you try to use, then it should not read properly. It should not read. So that's your expectation. Verify language selection. These are test case names I'm giving, steps I'm not giving, okay? These are all test case names I'm giving. The steps you have to write, how you will navigate for this language selection. That's a description place, you will write all the steps, okay? And so language, you can select what language is available there, right? So that language you select. You have to test with all the languages what it is supporting, okay? Verify PIN number entry. So you can enter PIN different ways, right? So verify operation with wrong PIN number entry. Verify operation when PIN number is entered wrongly 3 consecutive times. Verify account type selection. This is, I think, you will get before PIN number entry only. This, right? Account type, it will come here before this. Language selection, then account type you have to select. This test case should go here. Not PIN number directly will enter. After account selection only will enter PIN. So it depends on, right? Sometimes, where you will enter PIN, but valid test cases, these are all. But I'm saying here the placement is wrong. So verify account type. So if you see in the US, you have a checking account and savings account. In India, if you see current account and savings account, right? So like that, you have account types. So you try different combinations. And first, you try with the positive case, then you try with the negative cases. And verify operation when account type is selected wrongly. So wrong account type selected. Then what is the behavior of ATM application behavior? You just observe that. So basically here, keen observation is important in testing. So that's very, very important. You have to observe, okay, what action you did, you need to remember that actions. What action you did, and what is the application behavior. So those actions you have to remember, because while writing that defect report, you have to remember all the steps, right? So those steps you have to write and you have to tell very clearly. And verify withdrawal option selection. Verify amount entry. So how much amount you're entering. Verify operation with the wrong denominations of amount. They will mention, right, these denominations only they are going to give. So those denominations you have to enter. That's a valid case. If you denominations that is not supported, if you enter, what is the ATM application behavior, you have to see that. So verify withdrawal operation success, like correct amount, correct receipt, able to take card back, all this is the positive test case. Verify operation when amount for withdrawal is less than the possible. So suppose you have a $2,000 and you are entering, you are trying to enter less than that. What is the application behavior? It should allow, right? It should allow to withdraw. And next test case you can try withdrawal is more than the amount you have. That's a one test case. Another one, you try the number of withdrawals per day limit will be there. You cross that limit. That's another test case. So exactly limit you try, more than limit you try. That's a boundary conditions again you have to apply here. So when the limit comes, they're telling only 3 times allowed. You can withdraw per day, 3 withdrawals only you can do. So then apply exactly at the 3 you try. First you will try with 1, right? So minimum plus 1, right? And then max plus 1, min plus 1. And all this you can try it out. And also more than the limit you try it out. Then the balance amount also, you have a balance amount. If the balance amount is $2,000 you have in your account, you apply for 2,000 the boundary conditions. Then execute those test cases. I already told boundary conditions, apply there. For one test case, this many are, yes, you have to add all these cases. You have to try all this. So more than max minus 1, max minus, or max plus 1, minimum plus 1, minimum minus 1, minimum. You have to try all this. So those conditions you try if there is a limits and everything. So verify cancel after insertion of the card. This is the one test case. Verify cancel after language selection. Basically, you are validating the cancel buttons in all the screens. Verify cancel after PIN number entry and see the behavior. Verify cancel after account type selection. Verify cancel after withdrawal option selection. Verify cancel after amount entry. So these are the so many test cases. Still, I didn't give much here. Okay, the few of them I have given, but this is just a sample I am giving. You will get an overview how to write the test case names. This is how to write the test case names. Verify or validate you have to use in the test case names. Verify or validate you can use verify or validate any of these keywords you can use in your test case name column while writing the test cases. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So And few more test cases also I listed out: computer shutdown. So how you will shut down your computer, how many ways you can shut down. So basically a test case means you have idea how many ways you can test your feature. That's a test case means. So test case means not only requirements what is there. You have to test all the possible ways how people will use the application. You have to think out of box. Okay, if you give this test data, what will happen? Don't go in one direction only. You have to think all the directions and what will happen. How to break the system, you have to think. Break the system means give random data, give invalid data, and also first valid flow, then you try it out different ways, selecting different options, how it will work, and the data is showing or not. You need to see all this, right? If you go to here, so registration page, you try, right, with the yes combination. One time you try to create a no account. With no combination, you try to create another account. With the privacy policy check, and so with the different country, you try to create the account. So these are all different combinations you need to try. Even registration also is not one test case. You have to see here. So newsletter, yes, one, no, one account you have to create. You have to create the account with the subscribe yes, so subscribe no. You have to say no, create account country with the, so India, country with the United Kingdom, country with the US. So you can try a little bit, few of them. So whether you're able to create or not, you have to see that. Okay. So this is the different combinations you have to try. And login page, you can go to login page many ways. You can go to this is the path, one path. This is the one path. And another path is you can go from the registration page also, from here also. Is it landing on the same? See, same landing on the login page, multiple options they are providing. All those options you have to test it. See, for registration page, you can go from here and you can go from here also. This is another test cases you have to add. And here also they are providing. See, these are the different things you have to see that how it is working. Is this clear now? Getting a better idea how to test each and every link is working or not. And each and every card properly aligned or not. The buttons aligned properly or not. So the content is proper or not. You have to check. The clean observation is important. This is the breadcrumb. This is the breadcrumb we call this. What do you call this? Breadcrumb. So breadcrumb. So if you click, for example, if I click middle one, the page should navigate to account page. So you didn't log in, that's why it is not navigating. But if you click on this home, it should go to home. So this is the home page. And then breadcrumb will disappear. These are the application behaviors you have to see that. Okay, any questions here? This is called carousel links. It should keep rotating when you click on this left and right hand arrow icons, whether it is moving properly or not. You have to check that also. And you will see here. So all these products are displaying, and when you click the product, it should go to that detail space or not. This is the e-commerce, how you will test it, right? So the product details, the price, and what are all there, and add to cart is working or not. Compare this product with other product. So this is all options. See, when I put here, the tooltip is showing. So you will come to know what is this. And this one, add to wish list. So this is the add to cart. Anyhow, this text is clearly. If this text is not there, okay, they should display the tooltips. So these are all, that some of them they won't mention in the requirement document. Requirement document, they will just mention about that feature only. But these are the UI test cases. You have to, I already discussed now, right? The images is properly displaying or not. The content is proper, and properly aligned or not. So these are all the UI test cases also you have to see along with the functionality. So this is the carousels. So when I mouse over only, it is showing, and the arrow icons. This is carousels, right? And those are the test cases. You have to be very, very careful while writing and testing the application. Now, let's move on to the next one. These are all you go through this, okay? I don't want to tell this, but we'll discuss. You write the test cases for this forget password. Okay, write the test case for forget password and post in our Slack channel.
Okay.
So the task is write the test case for
Forget password.
okay. So here means it will notify all, okay? Here means it will notify everyone. Okay, so that's the. So you have to, so I already mentioned, you have to reply to this thread only. Don't post here. How to reply to this thread? If you are posting your test cases, so here you have reply in thread. You click on the mouse over here, you will see option here, reply in thread. So then post here only. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that's the one thing. And also later we'll see even login page, how to write the test cases. So login page and registration page we'll see, and search product, how we will test. So we'll write the different test cases. That's a test cases, multiple test cases we'll discuss, and you keep writing the test cases. See, forget password here also there. I want to see how many of you consider all possible ways. Okay. Yeah, that's it for the day. Next week we'll see some test cases. What are the test cases? We registration and account, and how to execute that. I'll show you. Then how to report the defect. I already shown how to report the defect, right? But still I'll show you the reporting the defect in the Jira tool, and we'll. I think we have covered that, so not necessary to again. So while execution time only will report the defects. Execution time only, you will report the defects. Any questions? Vandana, can you stay after all this drops? I want to talk about one opportunity.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys. See you